Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the athletic program at Tennessee State University, focusing on the football program. And we have with us this morning the head coach of the Tennessee State University football program, Coach Lawrence Cole. And Coach Cole, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thanks a lot, there.
You know, Coach, we've had an opportunity to talk to many people from Tennessee State University, and almost every person that we talk to, we talk about the athletic program. We've had the president on, and we've talked about the athletic program, the football program. We've had the vice president for student affairs, and so now I think that we have the true person to really talk about the football program at Tennessee State University. And we want you to do that today. But before we get into that, let's talk about Lawrence Cole, and to have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important to you before you came to Tennessee State University as the head coach.
Right. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, born in Springfield, to Ruby and Timothy Cole Sr., well, late Timothy Cole Sr. My folks were born in Talladega, Alabama, so I do have some, Southern background. From a family of 8 boys in our family, do not have any sisters, so, sometimes I feel like I've missed that feminine part just because we had so many, males in the house. But then from there, I went to Dunbar High School and went to college at the University of Nebraska, where I earned my Bachelor's of Arts and Science. And then from there, I played with the New York Jets, and then had a chance to play in the World Football League. And after bouncing around to different teams in the World Football League, I decided to go back to Nebraska and decided I wanted to be a football coach. And because all my life I always, worked with young people, so I felt like, since I was involved in athletics, that I would just continue coaching. And at Nebraska, I did my graduate work, and after there, I left and went to New Mexico State. Was my first time full-time job. And I worked there 2 years, and after 2 years there, I felt like it was time for me to move, and I had a chance to go to Ball State University, which is in Muncie, Indiana, which puts me close back to home because I'm more of a family man, coming from a large family, so I just felt like getting back close to home. Then at the Ball State, I was there 2 years and won the championship there, and then I felt like it was time for me to advance my career some more, so I ended up going to Kansas State, which is in the Big 8 Conference, which I was pretty much familiar with because of playing Nebraska, and I felt like that was a great accomplishment for there. Then after being at Kansas State in the Big 8, I had a chance to go to the University of Wisconsin, which is in the Big 10, and everybody always say the Big 10 is the best football conference in America. So I had an opportunity to go to Wisconsin and coach at Wisconsin for, at least 2 or 3 years there. And then after that, I decided to go back close to home again, and I went to Toledo, Ohio. Then after Toledo, Ohio, we won the championship there, coaching there, and then after that, I just started to think I needed a change in my life. I had been coaching in, white schools and went to a white university, and then I thought maybe it was a change to give something back to, my own community. And so what I ended up doing is going to Morgan State, a historic black institution that's in Baltimore, Maryland. And I went there as a assistant head coach and defensive coordinator, and I coached there for a couple of years. Then I just thought it was time for me to move along again, and then I went to Eastern Michigan with a couple of guys who were buddies on the team with me and asked me to come over there, so I decided to go over there, and then I was assistant head coach, so I started to move up the ranks, and all along my goal was to become a head coach. And then after Eastern, I went to the University of Cincinnati, which put me right back in my hometown where people knew, about me and my background, so also it was a great a tool for me, recruiting, and then also helped University of Cincinnati. And then there came the opportunity at Tennessee State to become the head coach there, and that's why I'm here today.
Coach, you've got a tremendous amount of experience dealing with a large number of institutions of higher education, that is coaching with a large number of institutions of higher education, in addition to the professional rank. And I think that that will sort of raise a question in reference to Tennessee State University. What did you know about Tennessee State University doing all of this when you were, for example, with the Jets and et cetera and et cetera? What did you know about Tennessee State University? Who had you come in contact with in your professional career from Tennessee State University?
Well, I have to just go back to when I was living in Ohio. Central State. It was always that arrival that you heard Tennessee State coming down I-75 to come in to play play Central State. So that was just a big arrival that when I was a kid I knew about. You talk about people from my high school. I had teachers in the school that went to Tennessee State, and then I can always mention his name, Ivory Sewsbury. He is the one that actually kind of, you know, led me on to it. Miss Nolan, my elementary school teacher, is a graduate from here, was my PE teacher when I was in the 3rd grade when she found out that I was applying for the job, and I called her. So I ended up going back to some of the ties when I was growing up as a kid that, you know, that went to school at Tennessee State. So that was kind of like the leeway, not more professionally, but more growing up, and those teachers that I had that went to Tennessee State and got an education at Tennessee State, and was just, you know, gave me the background, you know, how good Tennessee State was.
You know, I think one of the things about the athletic program at Tennessee State University, especially the football program, is that Tennessee State University has sent a large number of athletes off to the professional rank, and I think that you've also indicated that you've been involved in the professional rank. What are you doing now in terms of your current program? And we're going to talk about that current program, but what are you doing now in terms of your current program and preparing your young men for the next level? Do you ever think about that as a football coach? I mean, is your only concern to deal with the OVC, or have you thought in terms of sending some of your men beyond where you are now?
Well, you know, first of all, right now, you know, we have our program structured around his education. You know, I always really stress that to the young men on our football team. Right now, football game is only 60 minutes. Our life is, you know, education is going to take you, you know, 60 years or more. So right now, we're really stressing more is education, because I want our guys to know that, you know, football and education come hand in hand. I think when you're able to do it in the classroom, you're able to do it on the field, because it takes intelligence to pick up a playbook that thick. See, a lot of people just think you go out there and you run around, you tackle and all that, but that's not what football is all about. Those young men have to sit down, they have to go through a playbook probably that thick right there, and they got to learn every, you know, technique, how to throw, how to tackle. So it's a lot of things involved in just saying, I put you on the field and you just run around there. That's a false statement. But right now, we're really stressing the academic part, and I think that's a big part in it right now. But as far as going on the football field, you know, right now we're at square one. We have a very young football team. We have 7 seniors, all of them which will graduate in May, which I'm proud of. And this year we had 17 of our guys on the dean list, and you know, we're really proud of that. So we're going in the right direction. I think we're going in the right direction on the field. I don't see it as fast as a lot of the people here in Nashville see it, because I guess they've been around here in the program, been down for about 10 years. And so everybody sees a great difference in the program. I'm seeing that step by step right now. I think we're still behind the 8 ball a little bit there, but we're getting the right people in there. We're getting recruiting the right football player for this program and the right student athletes. So I think we're going in the right direction.
You know, Coach, I think one of the things that's really almost startling is that you've been able this year to have as many as 60-odd thousand people in the stand watching you play. And of course, we're going to come up to our first commercial break. But we want to talk about that, because I think the last time that you were with us, we talked about the kind of support that you felt that you could get from the community. And it does appear as if you are receiving that kind of support in terms of attendance and whatnot, and to be able, as the president said not long ago, to bring 61,000 people to a Tennessee State University football game. And I think other folks have also compared your attendance to the Tennessee Oilers, and of course, you know, I don't think that might not be fair, and et cetera. But nevertheless, I think it does indicate that for whatever reason, that there are a large number of people in the state of Tennessee and throughout the nation, indeed, who are concerned and who are interested in what you are doing and what you have done at Tennessee State University. And we're going to talk about that. I didn't want to raise a question because I didn't want to interrupt you, but we're going to talk about that when we come back